Hello, Mixed Nutcases. This is Nuke Chess, and we've got a funny episode for you today. Silly episode. Anyway, with me today...
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Frank Drebin. No, wait, I'm not. I'm still tech, and this will be an absolutely serious, by-the-numbers Nutty Bites episode with no funny business whatsoever.
No funny business whatsoever, absolutely. And unfortunately, we're missing some of our normal co-hosts as they're in a coma.
Oh, no! Wait, are you saying Jason's OJ?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I just meant all three of them were Norbert.
Oh, okay.
So if you aren't picking up what we're laying down, we're going to be talking about Naked Gun, the first movie. This is going to be a nice dinner and a movie, because I discovered when the announcement for the new movie coming out that Tech had never seen any of the movies.
Nope.
We had to rectify that.
Yep.
So before we go in too deep, what did you know about the movie going into it?
I knew that this was a parody spoof of police procedurals. I knew that it was a very screwball comedy. I knew that this was in line with something like Hot Shots. Now, Hot Shots I had seen because by the time that came out, I was an older teen. But when this movie came out, this is something that was absolutely forbidden in my house. There's not a lot of or any sexual content. I mean, there's a little bit of smooching, but there's a lot of innuendo, which was more than enough to trigger my mother, and that this is a movie that I would never, ever see. I mean, I wasn't allowed to watch the made-for-TV Archie movie because there's a scene where Veronica kisses Archie, and my mom thought that was too explicit.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So I did watch this growing up on VHS, though. It was very silly. My family was a big fan of silly. After watching, the Monty Python movies and things like that. But for me, I grew up watching these. I thought they were silly. They were stupid. I love stupid, funny shows.
So Monty Python and the Quest for the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Allowed in the house. Because I think my dad vetoed my mom on this one, because I don't think my mom, who speaks more French than English, understood what was going on in that movie and didn't even bat an eye at the Castle Anthrax scene. But I wasn't allowed to watch Naked Gun because that was too suggestive.
Well, I'm sure the title didn't help.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sure the title had a lot to do with it. She was thinking this was going to be another Porky's. So I can understand that.
Which I've also never seen, by the way. Big surprise.
Yeah, you're not missing too much. I think you're going to get angry at a few things. Yeah. But I was not allowed to watch Porky's either because definitely too sexual. I eventually did or watched enough of it to get the gist. But
so how old was Little Nutty the first time she saw the Naked Gun?
I'm not sure. 'Cause it came out in 88 and it probably whenever the rental started happening is probably it. 'Cause it was just very silly. And I know that my parents knew the Police Squad. What I didn't know, and we discovered afterwards, is Top Secret actually came out before this, which I thought came out after.
Made by the same guys. The writers, the directors, all of that. So that was really interesting for me.
But this, I don't ever remember being told I wasn't allowed to watch this. So
what I find interesting about this is, okay, so this is another, I can't find anything in the wiki on this, but allow me to expand a little bit. So there was a TV show in 1982 called Police Squad ! Which was this very same setup, same writers, same actor, doing a parody spoof of police procedural TV shows with all of the same sight gags and wordplay and all the stuff that we love from this movie on a TV show. Lasted 6 episodes before it got canceled. Is now listed as number 7 all-time show canceled before its time.
I didn't know they'd only got 6 episodes.
And then they made a movie.
Yep.
And the movie was successful, and the movie spawned a franchise, and the movie is called The Naked Gun.
Yeah.
In the 1960s, there was a spoof on spy shows called Get Smart. It spawned a movie called The Nude Bomb.
Yeah.
It failed horribly. People hated it, but the TV show was a hit, and it got 5 seasons. So, The Naked Gun, The Nude Bomb...
I don't know. Interesting.
And they're both based on parody TV shows. Just one is done by the Zucker guys. The other one's done by Mel Brooks. One had a popular movie franchise out of it. The other one had a popular TV show out of it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Everything about this is very interesting. That's it.
And okay, you're not going to back that up with
No,
anything.
just-
okay, cool. And that's the review, folks. The movie is interesting.
No, it's just like there's so many little stupid, funny quirks. So yeah. Anyway, what are your initial impressions after watching the movie?
No, it was exactly what was written on the tin. It was Leslie Nielsen running around like an idiot, doing idiot things, and a lot of wordplay, a lot of double entendre. If you guys haven't seen this, it's like all the other ones. It's like Hot Shots. It's like Major League. It's like Top Secret. It's like Airplane. It's all that same type of screwball comedy. It does it very well. It's very fun. I mean, Leslie Nielsen as the straight man is great because he has no idea how funny he's being. Really interesting to see O.J. Simpson as an actor and as like the hapless slapstick victim throughout. Well, let's be honest, in most of his grievous injuries in this movie, he is obviously replaced by a mannequin, which is very funny.
Oh, every time they're replaced with a mannequin. It happens so many times.
And we're talking about replaced by a mannequin on like the same level as Super Dave Osborne.
Yes, very obviously replaced by a mannequin.
And if our Nutty Bites listeners don't know who Super Dave Osborne is, go find the clips of his stunts on YouTube. And,
Real Saskatchewan seal leather.
Genuine Saskatchewan sealskin bindings.
That's it.
Which is what he was always strapped into his apparati with. Now, the joke there, of course, being that the province of Saskatchewan is landlocked and therefore doesn't have seals.
Yes.
But I don't know. Maybe they went to the zoo in Medicine Hat or something.
Yeah.
Or Saskatoon.
And if you are unfamiliar with Super Dave Osborne, wow, you're one of our young listeners.
Hello, you precocious little scamp. I think it's time for you to go to bed. Off to bed now.
Yeah, I can't tell you what my initial thoughts are because I have watched this so many times. I'm sure it was just giggle, giggle, giggle. They said a bad word. Moving on.
But there was a lot of jokes that, there's the famous setup of the very pretty girl going up the ladder first, and then Leslie Nielsen following up the ladder, and then making an anatomical joke, and then there's a bad pun that comes of it. They did the same setup on Hot Shots with almost the same delivery. I guess there's only so many jokes you can say, but I've watched the movies that this spawned.
Mm-hmm.
But I had never seen this before, so now I know where it all comes from. Now, did you know Police Squad ! Did you watch the parody TV show this is based on?
No, but I think I saw like one or two when I was in the hospital when I was a kid because we had cable in the hospital. But I'd seen enough clips of it.
The other thing that I learned in all this research is that the writers of this movie, which is David Zucker, Jim Abrams, and Jerry Zucker, and Pat Proft, when they write these screwball comedies, they base them on very serious scripts, which they then rip apart and turn into these idiotic comedies. So this is, in fact, based on a 70s Charles Bronson movie called Telephone.
Oh, nice.
Which is about its post-Cuban Missile Crisis Russian sleeper agents that get activated over the telephone when they hear the line of a Robert Frost poem, and then it turns them into these killers.
Nice.
And then trying to, disarm this, plot. Okay, very serious type of movie. And, it's Charles Bronson. I don't think that guy's got a funny bone in his body. And then you've got... which they ripped apart the script to make it into this movie about a plan to assassinate Queen Elizabeth during her trip to the United States by using assassins that have implanted phrases in their head, and when they hear the certain phrase, it'll turn them into remorseless killing machines without them knowing about it.
Yeah.
So it's this script Telephone by Charles Bronson, or it was starring Charles Bronson.
That I didn't know what it was based on. I just was like, yeah, all police procedurals, but no, that's kind of interesting. That's really, sorry, See, I told you I'm going to say that a lot. So what works for you?
Oh, come on, Leslie Nielsen. But the whole cast. I mean, come on, it's Leslie Nielsen playing off of Ricardo Montalban as the bad guy, and you've got these two immensely talented actors being silly. They must have laughed every day at work, and I hope that. I don't know what it's like to make a movie. As an actor in these Hollywood type things, I hope this movie was as fun to make as it appeared on film. Poor OJ dying about every 10 seconds, and the weird sexual relationship that Leslie Nielsen is having with the leading lady, and Ricardo Montalban is like this evil villain guy. I mean, it was so much fun to watch these powerhouse actors just do something dumb. And this is one of my favorite things in comedy, is when you take an actor that is known for being as serious as a heart attack and you make them have fun. You see this a lot in like Muppet productions, where all of a sudden it's the Muppets acting opposite Michael Caine, or I could probably name another dozen examples, but it's so much fun to watch them have fun and laugh and smile. And there's not a lot of laughing and smiling in this one, but we're doing it for them.
Yeah, I remember at one point, because we were eating dinner, and I said something about it being a very visual movie, because half the jokes are just seen rather than said. And I think that's one of the things that Lil Nutty loved about this. I loved slapstick. I loved prop comedy, walking into walls, the running gags. It really is a lot like the Muppets now that you mention it.
It's a lot like the Muppets. It's a lot like some children's books that I know we both read called Amelia Bedelia.
Yes.
Which is about a hapless nanny who takes everything literally.
Yeah.
For example, the one joke that always comes to mind, and the Amelia Bedelia books was something my mother loved dearly. But this is a movie that my mother would not have liked at all. But it was things like she wants to make date squares, and the recipe says to cut up dates to put into the bowl. And there's Amelia with scissors and a calendar as she's cutting the dates out of a calendar to put them into the bowl. It's that level of stupid that's in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So was there anything that didn't work for you?
Not really, because I'm a kid of the 80s. So I'm sure there's a lot of things now that would fly past a lot of people's heads, like who's this Queen Elizabeth person? I thought we had a king. And rotary telephones and cars with hubcaps and all kinds of police officers using revolvers. A lot of things that really date the movie as a product of the 80s, but to me, I don't think. No, this was a very good movie, and it was a very good. Yes, it was made in 1988. Yeah, it's a screwball comedy. No, it's not going to win any Academy Awards, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that frustrates me about this type of movie, is that the critics, which were very powerful in the 80s and 90s, would look at a movie like this and get mad.
Yeah.
How dare this movie make me laugh? I want cinema.
Cinema.
And I always hated that, it has to be a movie about a piano-playing military officer that loses both his hands and dies of cancer. It has to be like Schindler's List or more serious levels of movie to win an award, and that a movie like this is never going to win anything because, it was silly. Well, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with silly? Silly can be fun. Silly can be great.
Absolutely. I did notice that in the trivia there, it says that there was a 1993 issue of Spy magazine, and the article talked about how many jokes and sight gags were directly lifted from the TV shows Get Smart and the Pink Panther movie.
I should have been mentioning Pink Panther from the very beginning, but yes, Peter Sellers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was so funny. And then there was something else that I had seen about while Frank is impersonating an umpire, the batter swings back and hits Frank in the face. This joke was suggested by Mel Brooks. I want to know more about that. Was he on set or something?
What was Mel Brooks doing on set for this? That would have been fantastic. And baseball superstar Reggie Jackson is in this.
Oh, there's so many cameos.
Well, and I think we'll talk about that later. But there's all kinds of great cameos. No. What about you? Did anything not work for you? Because to me, I can't think of anything.
Rewatching it, I was expecting to cringe on a few things, and I really didn't. There really wasn't much to cringe about.
No, movies.
I think there were a couple fat jokes, but other than that,
Yeah, movies from this time period also have a rather spotty and dated concepts of consent, Porky's, and other such. None of that comes up in this movie. Not at all.
yeah,
Frank Drebin is a gentleman throughout.
absolutely. He bats an eye at nothing. There's a lot of like little gags that just absolutely kill me. Let me just slip into something more comfortable. That is a running gag that I always want to see how people are doing it.
Right.
And he comes out in a more formal suit.
So it's Frank Drebin saying that to his date.
Yes.
Saying, let me slip into something more comfortable. And he's wearing a suit. And he leaves the room and comes back in another suit.
But then later, he just pulls at the collar and it completely comes off.
Oh, yeah.
So there's...
But it tears apart, like, lengthways down the middle. It, like splits open like a clamshell.
I did when we were when we saw Ricardo Montalban on the screen, and you said Khan. Apparently, that's exactly why he was cast, because of his recent role as Khan.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It was not a Fantasy Island thing. It was no.
No. We want the galaxy's greatest supervillain to.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of little direct references, things like to movies like Double Indemnity, things like to James Bond movies, like the opening. The opening, that was a lot of fun watching that with you, because you're sitting there identifying everyone, going, okay, so that's this person, that's this person.
Remind me of the opening again.
The opening with all the heads of enemy states. You had Gorbachev, had Arafat,
Idi Amin,
Yeah.
all of them sitting around the table discussing how much they hate America.
Yeah.
I guess that goes into what we want to talk next is, like, was anything too dated? Well, the two big scenes that date themselves in this movie is that cold open of the Evil League of Evil discussing how much they hate America, and the scene with all the baseball players, because those are all cameos.
Yeah.
So unless you were a baseball fan in the 80s or you happen to be a huge fan of historical baseball, you're not going to know who any of those guys are. Same thing, unless you're a world history fan and you don't,
or you lived through it,
or you were, you studied the Cold War in school, you might not know who these people are. But that's okay, because in both scenes, by context, you understand what's going on, and there isn't a plot point, let's say, hinging on the fact that you have to know who Mikhail Gorbachev is, and they don't explain it to you. So they put these two scenes in. Yes, they're quite dated because the movie's almost 40 years old now. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you can enjoy the movie just as much not knowing who Gorbachev and Arafat are as you can by knowing who they are. I mean, the only baseball player I recognized in that entire scene was Reggie Jackson. I don't know any other players or all the coaches, but they're all cameos. So
there's only one other actual baseball player, and that was Jay Johnstone. But both he and Reggie had recently retired, so they weren't active. Just as there was a cameo of an umpire. The sportscasters were real, but the cameo of the umpire is the umpire that Leslie Nielsen is parodying, because he was known for being super flamboyant.
I recognize the names of the sportscasters, but they basically had every major league sportscaster there in the booth at the same time. But I don't know who they were. Does it make the movie less funny? No, the movie's
didn't
fine.
Change anything.
I don't know who Dr. Joyce Brothers is. The movie was still funny. It goes on and on. Like, okay, that dated it, but it doesn't make it didn't make the movie less enjoyable.
Yeah.
Or I don't think it'd make the movie less enjoyable. I'm very curious to see what they're going to do in the new one coming out.
Yeah.
With Leslie Nielsen coming out this year, as to, are they going to do things as dated? Are they going to do the same gags with different people? How are they going to update it? Are they going to try to make it more timeless? Are they going to try to make it, or are they going to make it timed to today?
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm really excited, which is why I wanted to do this. I wanted to go through it with you because as soon as I saw the trailer for the new movie, I said, I got to see that. I got to see what they're going to do.
The one thing I saw that did change, and this is in the trailers, so I'm not spoiling anything, but instead of baseball, it appears that in this movie, the sporting event is a UFC fight.
Oh, that'll be interesting. Yeah. I will tell you, I'm going to spoil the rest of the movies for you. They do not all feature baseball. So.
Well, no, by then we had Major League, so you can get your baseball screwball comedy fix.
Exactly. There's, all the baseball scenes though were filmed, before everything else because they had to get everything done before the actual baseball season started. Mm-hmm. So they had to do that ahead of time. The really funny thing is, and I'm going to reference something. There's some minor spoilers here. If you haven't seen Naked Gun and you don't want to be spoiled, I don't know what's up with you. But anyway, there's going to be some minor spoilers here. But at one point first he knocks out the opera singer who's going to be singing the national anthem. And he sings it badly, which you can tell Leslie Nielsen is working hard to sing off key because he can sing. And so after Leslie Nielsen died in 2010, ESPN published an obituary for Enrico Palazzo.
Oh, funny.
And they wrote, a true Renaissance man, Enrico Palazzo, umpired the game after performing the national anthem. Palazzo was the first and only umpire to eject another umpire from a major league game. He is also believed to be the first and only umpire to use an upright vacuum cleaner to tidy up home plate. So then, Drebin goes, Leslie Nielsen's character goes, and he knocks out the umpire and takes over the umpire's role. Years later, Queen. So the whole point was it was an assassination attempt on Queen Elizabeth too. Several years later, Queen Elizabeth did attend an Oakland A's game, but it was versus the Baltimore Orioles, and it was in Maryland. She met both teams in their respective dugouts, and Reggie Jackson, then the Oakland A's coach, was the first person in the receiving line at the Oakland dugout. Some news channels showed gag footage from the movie when the Queen's impersonator was throwing out the first pitch. And then, of course, Leslie Nielsen met the real Queen. After the Queen's death, though, Reggie tweeted how, now we can all see I was innocent. I just think it's funny how the gags in that movie have persisted, 20, 30 years later.
This movie's timeless. I mean, this movie's great. And when you can, oh God, I hate using the word zeitgeist, but when you can enter it and you can enter public consciousness and you can, make timeless gags that are said time and time again, you're not going to see another movie on this level until Spaceballs. Thank good God, he's gone plaid, The plaid edition Tesla Model S is like the fastest road car there is. And when you want to go drag racing with it, you actually enter a setting to turn it to ludicrous mode. Oh,
that's hysterical. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The really fast Tesla is called the plaid edition because of it's a Spaceballs joke.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But yeah, it's one of those things that just kind of hangs around. And I think the big question is, do you want to watch more?
Yeah, I could watch more. I think I'd have to be in the right mood for it. Now that I know that, now that I know what I'm expecting, yeah, sure. Why not crunch some popcorn, watch a stupid Leslie Nielsen flick? Sure, why not? It's like all those other ones. I got to be in the right mood for it. Like, I do like a silly comedy, but this is very silly. Let's admit.
Okay, so you'll see a lot more gags in the later. They get even sillier as more and more movies come out. And I will tell you, OJ is in all of them, and his role gets bigger. Is
it one of the? It was one of these police comedy things. I remember watching it with my dad years ago, where there's a scene where they're having a shootout. They're having a shootout in a convenience store, and they're spoofing on the fact that guns in police procedurals don't actually eject casings. So they've turned up the Foley on the clinking of the casings hitting the ground until it's louder than the gunshots. And at one point, there's one casing that just doesn't stop bouncing. It's just ting, 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 ting.
Yeah,
for like a good 10, 15 seconds.
I don't know if that's from one of these or one of the Hot Shots, or I'm not sure. But I know what you're talking about. I remember it.
Did they, in the later Naked Gun movies, did they also... Am I right in remembering that they rip on, like, Lethal Weapon? Or am I thinking of something else?
I don't remember.
Okay.
That's okay. So there were a lot of cameos, and we've kind of mentioned them already. The thing about the cameos in these movies, to me, are often like the cameos. I'm going to go back to the Muppets, like the Muppets, where they're just, the Muppet movies just have random cameos. You know, he's getting off an airplane and everybody's there, and they're not there for him. They're there for Weird Al, who's also getting off the plane, but says nothing. And, you know, we mentioned Dr. Joyce Brothers and the various baseball players and the sports announcers. Apparently Bob Costas was supposed to be in it as well, but scheduling, yada, yada.
The part played by Priscilla Presley was supposed to go to Bo Derek.
Yeah. I'm glad that it went to Priscilla. I thought she did a really good job. Her ability to do, because she was also doing that, playing it straight, but totally comedic role.
Yeah, you know, she's playing the classic, you know, woman that goes into the private detective's office. Oh, I have a problem and I need you to help me, you know.
Exactly. It's very, I think that kind of, I always say it's the Charles Grodin type of comedy. Doing that straight man, everything's classically delivered. There's no hanging a lantern on it. That can be really hard, especially if you're doing it and you're on a set and people aren't laughing. So you don't know if it's flying until movie night.
Yeah. You know, in front of a live audience, it's a lot easier to find out where your jokes are landing or not. But when you're doing it on a set, you know, it must be difficult. And that's why these guys are the best. That's why, you know, they were able to keep making these movies, because they found a way to make it work. A lot of that's in casting. It's in great writing. It's obviously in great direction from the brothers Zucker and Mr. Abrahams. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this.
Me too. So, what would you pair it with if you're going to... it's a dinner and a movie.
There's the gag when they go into Leslie Nielsen's apartment and, like, all of the food is well past the expiry date. Because
oh my gosh! Yes,
he doesn't eat at home. So I will have it. I will pair this with a well past its expiry date takeout Chinese food.
Oh, I did read that Weird Al later, and I remember the video. He did a video for a song about expired food in his fridge, and Leslie Nielsen is dancing inside of the fridge with the food.
That is a parody of the Red Hot Chili Peppers' "Living on the Edge." This is Aerosmith.
Yeah,
"Living on the Edge," and the song is called "Living in the Fridge."
There you go. See,
there's something wrong in the fridge today. I don't know what it is.
See, I remember the visuals more than the music, but
it looks like it's alive.
I am not going to go so gross, and I am going to pair this with a good old Dirty Water Dog and some peanuts and Cracker Jack, because we're going to the ball game.
Right.
But I think that it is a fun movie. It holds up. I was surprised at how well it held up. I was expecting it to hold up, but you never know. I mean, there was a movie that I absolutely loved as a kid, and when I introduced it to Tech, he did not like it.
You mean Legend, don't you?
No, I mean...
I hated that one, too.
That one, too. No, I was thinking of My Blue Heaven.
Oof.
But this one, I would say, is a pleasant surprise.
Because, My Blue Heaven, yeah, great, awesome, fun. But then you sleep on My Cousin Vinny, and you don't introduce me to that one.
I was trying to show you My Cousin Vinny for years, and you're like, not tonight, not tonight, not tonight. And then we watched it, and how much did you love it?
It was quite funny.
Yeah. Oh, and another one I did not sleep on that we watched and you did like was Hear No Evil, See No Evil.
Oh, come on, I watched that as a kid.
I thought you didn't.
I did. I barely remember it, though.
Oh,
It was
okay.
quite young. But yeah, I mean, come on. Richard Pryor.
Oh, so good. So good.
So funny.
All right. So this is what we thought of it. And if we watch more, maybe we'll record more. We'll see what happens. But I am definitely planning on seeing the new movie. So let us know what kind of silly, spoofy kinds of movies that do you love so much.
You know, one thing I will say about this movie, though, it just makes me want to watch more Get Smart.
Yeah. Yeah. And it does kind of make me a little excited about the Spaceballs 2 coming up.
Yeah, Spaceballs 2 coming out next year. And, you know, we were talking about before, this would be my final thought, we were talking about very serious actors that, you know, doing something silly. You're going to cast Leslie Nielsen, the man with a very particular set of skills, the man that I have never heard laugh. You know, that you're going to cast him as Lieutenant Frank Drebin.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I want to watch this now.
All right. Thanks so much, everyone. And we'll talk to you again. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Before we go, I want to thank our patrons. Thank you so much to everyone who has been contributing. This has been such a fun experience, generating funds that we can donate to good causes. So if you are a patron, please check out the posts on Patreon where you can vote where our donations go. And if you're not a patron and you're not able to, that's okay. You can still suggest and recommend charities for us to donate to. We donate a larger sum quarterly rather than each month, just to make our efforts a little bit nicer, a little bit better. Yeah, so go ahead and let us know where you want us to donate our next bit to. But thank you so much to our top tier patrons, our big daddies. Thank you to Jason and to Rich the TT. I also want to thank our patrons of the arts. I want to thank Kaylin, Hugh, Mark Cabot, and the Encaffeinated One, and Susanna. And I want to thank our full-blown patrons, the rest of our patronage. Thank you so much to Shane, Selganor, Cliff, Greg, Harold, Ian, Ken, Kinsey, Melissa, Mike, Nix, Radical Geek, Will, and Zachman. Thanks so much, everyone.
Nutty Bites is produced by Nimlas Studios under a Creative Commons Attribution No Commercial Non-Derivatives 3.0 International License. That means you can't change it without my permission. You can share it and send it to your friends. Just link back to me, my site, and everything. We live at nimlas.org, which has links to everything social media, including facebook.com/group/nuttybites and patreon.com/nukejoss, or call 347-NUTTY42.